Hello, Pisces. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. At the bottom, it says illustrated by Mark Evans. I think at the bottom of this, it gives their names again, plus the website of llewellyn.com. If you want to check that out, feel free, of course. Supportive Oracle cards, spellcasting Oracle cards by Flavia, Barbara, and Lisbeth. Website on the back here. I notice She Who Is Art usually, but there's a few others, I think. Feel free to freeze frame and check out whatever you would like to check out, of course. Okay. What do we have for Pisces? Seems sane. See, we're starting off well. Seems it's a sane. I'm like sane. Two cards fell out while I was shuffling, and they came out upside down, and I feel like they need to stay upside down. Manifestation and strength. I feel like you're in a good place right now. And I feel like they're kind of like, don't add yourself into things, or don't connect to things that maybe are usually a little bit stressful. Because I feel like you are stable right now. You seem to be doing fairly well. Whatever this could be, the subject matter, be it work, be it family, be it friends. There's some category that you're feeling very stable, like, okay, I know how this goes. And I'm getting like you're keeping it where it needs to be. Don't move into something that you don't need to move into. Don't go somewhere you don't need to be. What are we talking about? Like, so for example, if there's a party you're invited to or some type of event, I feel like this is one of those times where it's like it's better to show up not noticeably, but like a little bit late and leave a little bit early. Kind of like don't add yourself into something that really isn't going to work for you. I feel like this is a moment where it's kind of like the less the better. Other people have their sights on things. You don't want to be roped into their goals because I feel like that doesn't serve you, it just serves them. I keep getting, if you stay off on your own, at least for maybe the next month of this, whatever this category is, you try to stay off on your own as much as you can. So if there's other things going on and you're like, well, for example, if it's work and they're like, well, there's only so much I can do about that. But like where you can do it and you can kind of pull back and not be connected with things, I feel like they're saying that might be better for you in a temporary thing. Because I keep getting like, be more conservative with your time. Be more conservative with what you're connected to for now. Hold back for now. I'm getting a lot of cards for that, I'm noticing. Because I'm also getting this card, which is the Seven of Wands, which is holding back negativity in some version. It's like holding back, keeping yourself out of things, keeping yourself away from things. There's a lot of that energy to start off with, but what's going on? And there's another card. The Nine of Wands is like holding your ground, holding other people back. I don't know, the 7 and the 9 are different. This is kind of like you're being advanced on and you don't want to be connected to. This is something where you're just keeping an eye out, and if something approaches, you're making sure they realize don't come this way. You're not letting somebody in. I don't know how to explain it. They're different, but it feels very similar. In this reading, they feel very similar. This is like something you already have. People are trying to take, and that's people trying to like take you. I think that's the difference. I don't know. It's a little weird how the two of them are seeming very similar to me. Right now as I'm reading, I'm like, I know there's different meanings for these cards, but it feels very, very similar. I also get like a conflict of interest here. Conflict of interest. One of the reasons you want to stay off to yourself at this time is because there's something in the past that I feel like was not to your benefit. But I feel like whoever you're dealing with is spinning this in the sense of like, well, how you felt didn't matter. It's how I felt. And I felt it was good, so you need to do this. It seems like that. How do I explain that? I feel like maybe somebody like screwed you over in the past and you're kind of avoiding that. But somebody else likes the same person and they're like, well, get over it because I like hanging out with them. So come on, you're hanging out with us. I don't care if you like it, you'll get over it. It's kind of like that. It's kind of rude. It's kind of like they're discounting or just ignoring how you feel about a situation. They're like, well, you can get over it, Pisces. Just come along with us and, suck it up. Meanwhile, if the shoe was on the other foot, they'd be kicking a whole different tune. You know what I'm saying? They're lacking compassion. That's weird that comes out that way because this card did not come out upside down. But I feel like when I see the Eight of Cups and the compassion card, like they want you to have compassion for something without really thinking about your feelings and really feeling out how it looks for you and how it affected you. They're just like, no, Pisces, you're overreacting. Just get over it and just do what I want you to do. This is why I'm saying pull back, stay out of it so you don't end up in this, or at least if you get roped into something that you really don't want to be a part of, I would show up late and leave early if you can. If you can manage it. The Strength card is right side up. It came in twice. You got it upside down and right side up. I'm seeing here, like, don't move forward. Don't be over helpful. Use your strength to stay out of things, to stay back from things. Am I getting that wrong? It seems like we're saying the same thing in the last 6 minutes. It seems like I keep saying the same thing. There must be more to it. Four of Cups and the Hermit card. The Hermit card is a good card. When it comes to Pisces, though, it can be very difficult to deal with. That's your opposite in the zodiac. Sometimes it can seem very critical, very nitpicky, very, very like they're saying, look at this you did wrong, and look at that you did wrong, and look at this other thing you did wrong, and you didn't do that right either, and you can't even, can you walk and chew gum at the same time? Probably not. Like, it's that type of energy coming at you, like, oh my goodness, can you just give me a break? A lot of, like, discontent. I feel like they're giving you more, like, why you should pull back, why you should, limit your connection to this as much as you can. This reading is valid for whenever you come to it, but I do see, like, this holiday party where I feel like the advice is kind of like, if you can, take that day off so you don't even have to be there. Or, like, if this is, like, an event at work when you're like, well, I'm there, I can't really do anything, I'm just there, they're going to do this. Take that day off if you can. That's what I'm getting. You decide if that's right. Like, sort it out for yourself, because I'm getting, we just got to get past this moment because people are distracted. If we can get past this moment, I feel like things kind of like just kind of move on and people just ignore the whole situation. Something doesn't seem right here. Like, something is a little off. Like, what is off? What is that? The Five of Swords and, well, it's the Hierophant actually, but I'm getting like the Knight of Swords upside down. I'm seeing the Five of Swords too, though. So people aren't, something isn't right with this situation. Do you realize that? I feel like you already know something isn't right here. And they're saying just try to keep yourself away from it as much as you can. You know something isn't right. The inner Pisces knowing, like, this doesn't feel good. I don't want to be a part of it. I'd rather not be there, that type of thing. Do what you can to limit your connection as much as you can. It does seem like it's a temporary moment, and it seems like I'm invited to something. So I'm like, either don't go or limit your connection. It seems like once this moment passes, though, with these two cards, I'm getting like, it doesn't seem to come around again. I almost feel like instead of you getting the brunt of it, somebody else gets the brunt of it this time. And when somebody else gets the brunt of it, I feel like it changes the dynamic. If you end up getting the brunt of it, it feels like it perpetuates the pattern. But if you're not there, or you disconnect or walk away before they can pull you in or suck you into it, it then seems like it goes off on somebody else. Somebody else gets dumped on, which, but then they seem to have like a moment about it. I don't know if you're even going to find out about it, but it seems to change the whole dynamic, and it seems to move on the situation. It's really a passive-aggressive way to handle things, but isn't it? Am I taking that the wrong way? How does Pisces connect to this person? Like, if Pisces shows up to this situation, what happens with Pisces? Seven of Swords, and then the Sun card. So that's interesting. So I feel like even if you're there, I feel like you're still going to back out. So I don't know what that means. So even if you're there, I do feel like you're going to sneak out when you see it, when you see somebody trying to like give you a hard time. Just kind of, I feel like you're going to just disappear. I mean, it does seem easier just to not be there or to limit your engagement with the situation. I'm wondering, like, for some of you, maybe you're thinking, no, I'll just go and I'll just suck it up and deal with it. But then things start to go a little south, and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to leave. And nobody knows the difference. You just kind of hide away. I did that with an office party. It was during work hours. I just kind of found something to do that was work related, and I just stayed right away from it. I did that pretty successfully for a couple hours. But and nobody could complain because I was doing something business related. So later, nobody complained. I was like, oh no, this needed to be done for this client. And I just played it off that way because nobody knew where I was. But you could see that I was on the computer. You just couldn't find where I was, which I thought was very creative of me. I didn't care either. I was just like, nope, not dealing with those nut jobs. Does that make sense? Because I feel like what they're saying is like pull back, hide away, go a little bit silent. This does pass, especially if you're not there to be the one who gets attacked. I feel like what I'm getting I'm also getting if you're there though that you're gonna like and you're gonna kind of try to get away from it. But I feel like that's the more stressful way to do it. You could do it that way if that's what works for you. I feel like that's more stressful because then I see it going down and I'm like, oh, I gotta get out of here. What am I gonna do? And then you just kind of take your exit. It doesn't have to be that stressful. I think that's the point. If you see this beforehand, you kind of can circumvent it, like, either not be there at all or like show up late, leave early. That way there's only a small window and then you don't have to deal with it hardly at all. I feel like that's the optimal way to handle this. Whatever is going on, because somebody seems to, I feel like, I don't want this to sound really bad, but it does seem like somebody's targeting you a little bit. And we don't want to deal with that. I do feel like, again, I am getting like when you realize it, because you got the Seven of Swords and the Sun card, you're going to ditch out when you see it happening. Like, oh no, I'm not going to be their target. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to leave, let them holding the bag, leave them holding the bag. I'm getting another analogy about this, so I'm just kind of like watching what's playing out. It's like also, maybe this is one of those things, I've had this happen, where you're at an event and then, I don't know what happens, for some reason somebody needs a ride home. And it's like a half hour out of your way. And they're a nightmare to begin with. It's kind of like once I realize that they don't have a ride home, I do feel like you're going to just ditch. You're going to be like, I'm just going to disappear before they can even find me. I'll be home. I just won't answer my phone. I'll turn off the phone till I get home. Like, oh yeah, I had things to do. Sorry, I guess you have to find another ride home. And I would also, if that analogy fits you, if it's giving somebody a ride home, do not respond to that person that day. Like, wait till the next day. I go, oh my gosh, I was so busy. I had so many texts. I didn't even see yours. Blah, 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 blah. If you have to respond. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.